Salute family and welcome back to another video. This is Black Truth United. Yeah, we have a lot of updates dealing with the B1 Rolodex. There have been just so many changes over the past month. I haven't been able to roll out the individual videos talking about all of the revisions and mile markers. So this video will be a compilation of all the changes as well as notifications dealing with the B1 Rolodex. So the first thing I want to point out is that it's now easier to get to the B1 Rolodex. People were asking me before, how do I get there fast? How do I get there? So instead of having you go to my social media, I have a URL that does an easy redirect, and it's blacktruthunited.com. So don't add anything after or before the URL. No HTTP, absolutely nothing else. Just blacktruthunited.com. And it'll redirect you automatically to my link tree. From here, you can access the B1 Rolodex. You can get to the map. You can submit an anti-blacklisted form, which we'll go over later on. Then you have my social media links. If you want to donate, there are some options there at the bottom. So it's just a whole lot easier. So here we are in the B1 Rolodex. I'm going to scroll down all the way. And yes, you're seeing that correctly. We have surpassed 1,000 entries. In fact, we're on our way to 1,100. The last one that I added was Shahrazad Ali. Couldn't believe that I didn't have that before, but it's there now. Got a few barbecue spots and everything. Jaguar Wright, a Power Tool magazine, and then obviously we have the cardiologist. Now you'll notice that some of them are Caribbean, but just keep in mind, in the vetting process, I make sure even if they are of a non-FBA lineage, which some of them are, like this particular person, they are highly rated. And the same thing goes for FBAs. They're going to be highly rated doctors. That's one of the requirements to be able to be on there, and most of the doctors are FBA, but some of them are from another background. You can see here we have the OBGYNs, which I would like to have more of, as well as the family practice doctors, so a good mix. But anyway, all the cardiologists have been added that I could find. That's another update. Also, I want to shout out Grinds TV because he helped with I think 15 or 20 businesses. Some of them were digital, some of them were from the Chicago area, so shout out to that brother. He has a black owned business group on Twitter, and that's really the vision of the B1 Rolodex, having people who are from a particular region break down exactly who's on code, who's not, who's FBA and who's not, because you all will know more than I would about your local businesses. Alright, let's go to the map. The first thing you'll probably notice is that there are now gray markers, and that's going to be what I'll explain later. These gray markers are anti-black businesses. This particular business made terroristic threats, threatened violence against some FBAs, so you'll see these scattered on here. I am thinking about changing it from being a layer here to its own separate map, but if you want to just get rid of them, you can click this checkbox to just focus on businesses to patronize. Alright, let's zoom into Chicago. One of the coolest things is when someone sends me a business and I already have it. I saw some overlaps with Brother Grinds TV, but we did get some new ones in the Chicago region, so I'm just clicking through here. You can see quite a few of them. I've already gone over the map many times, so I'm not going to bore you with the details here. But I do want to show you here in the resource and general contact number section, which a lot of you like. I did add two more. Right here we have OSHA. I got that idea from Brother Phil. Filing complaints if businesses aren't complying with OSHA standards, like safety risks and everything. And then here we have the Equal Opportunity Employment Commission. So if you have anti-black businesses that are only hiring their own, refuse to hire us, just doing pretty much unfair practices, we need to start reporting that kind of stuff. Brother Nas cued me in on that. So two more in addition to the various resources that you have there. Alright, we already covered the map. Let's go to the intro and help section. This has pretty much remained the same. Of course, you have all the guidelines, my email there if there's an issue. And now all the way here at the right, we have the anti-blacklist. So this is the newest addition to the B1 Rolodex. You'll see a lot of similarities between this list and the actual list of businesses to patronize. And let me zoom out real quick and turn these back on. These are the gray dots that are all around. Let's see here. This is the place that was associated with George Floyd's unaliving. Some of the places are specific to an address, others are not. I also have a place right here indicating whether the business has been shut down or not. Y for yes, for example. The Papa John's owner, we got to him, at least for the most part. Barack Obama, he's been neutralized. Various other spots. And the reason why I have them still up, for example, this nail salon, the reason why I still have that up, even though we already shut it down, is so that we can remember the work that we put in. Alright, here at the top, this is where you go to add a business to the anti-blacklist. It's very similar to the other one. For listing businesses, your email won't be collected. You put your name in the Black Grassroots. If you're FBA, the name of the anti-black business, the address of the anti-black business, if it applies. If not, just put NA. And then what the business is doing specifically, or has done specifically, which was anti-black or is anti-black. And this can range from an open hate crime to just simply refusing to hire any FBAs. I think I updated that in the form. And then of course a way for me to contact you, which can be Twitter DMs or something like that. No phone numbers, please. Once you hit submit, I'll check everything, and if it checks out, I'll add it to the anti-blacklist. Alright, so that concludes the B1 Rolodex update. Again, I'm hoping that more situations like what happened with Brother Grinds TV occur again, so that we can get more and more businesses listed in different regions. In addition to that, if you recall, I did state that there would be something special for the B1 Rolodex after reaching 1,000 entries, so that will be in the next video, which should be premiering shortly. It's going to be a raffle for those who are using the B1 Rolodex. You send me the receipts and you'll have the possibility of getting a cash prize. But I'll explain that in the next video, which should be premiering shortly after this one. So stay tuned for that. Alright, with all that being said, I do want to shout out some contributors. Sorry if it takes me a while to shout you out. Sometimes it depends on when I edit a video. But shout out to FBA 60s Boomer, Shabazz Navarra, and Codified Trucking. Much respect. Alright, with all that being said, be one and be blessed, family. Peace.